All right, let's talk about the Amazon River. And I mean, really talk about it. Because everything you think you learned in school, you might want to just set that aside for a bit. We're about to uncover a world so massive and so strange, some have called it another planet entirely. And, that's not just some fancy metaphor. Seriously, this isn't just water flowing to the sea. It's a living, breathing system so complex it might as well be its own world. It changes its name, its color, it can even decide to flow backward. So, yeah, let's start peeling back these incredible layers. Okay, first up, let's just try, and I mean try, to wrap our heads around the sheer size of this thing. The part we can actually see on the surface. This is where our story begins, with its absolutely mind-boggling power. Get this. Every single second, the Amazon dumps almost 209,000 cubic meters of freshwater into the ocean. Now, what does that even mean? Well, picture the next 7 biggest rivers in the world. The Amazon pours out more water than all of them put together. It's just staggering. Let's put it another way. Imagine all the river water from every single continent that flows into our oceans. A full 20%, 1/5 of all of it, comes from this one river. Its power literally pushes out deep into the Atlantic Ocean. And when the rainy season hits, the river can swell to 48 kilometers wide. I mean, think about that. You could be standing on one bank, and you literally cannot see the other side. It's just gone, over the horizon. It stops feeling like a river and starts feeling like an actual ocean.
And that's exactly why it gets its nickname. The early explorers, they couldn't wrap their minds around it. They thought they'd found a freshwater sea. So the local name, the River Sea, it's just perfect, isn't it? It captures that feeling exactly.
So we've talked about its size, but the weirdness doesn't stop there. The Amazon's identity is just as vast and shifting as its waters. I mean, its length, its name, even its color. It's all up for debate and constantly changing. So here's a question for you. Is the Amazon the longest river in the world? Now, most of us probably learned the answer was no. But like everything else with this river, the real story is a little more complicated. Okay, so for the longest time, the Nile River was the champ, right? Longer by about 250 kilometers. But, and this is a big but, that was measuring the Amazon from a starting point everyone just kind of agreed on. Recently, though, scientists use satellites to trace it all the way back to its true source, way up in the Andes. And with that extra distance, the Amazon could actually be up to 7,000 kilometers long, which would make it the undisputed champion. The debate is still raging. And it's not just the length that's confusing. The river doesn't even have one single name. It starts out as the Apurimac in the mountains, and its name literally changes over and over again. In Brazil, people don't even call it the Amazon until after this amazing thing happens called the meeting of waters. It's where 2 different rivers, one dark and one muddy, flow side by side for kilometers without mixing. It looks like a painting. Only after they finally merge does it become the Amazon we all know. All right, this next part is where things get really wild. We're going to talk about how the Amazon has this habit of, well, flowing backward. I'm not kidding. It happened in the ancient past, and believe it or not, it still happens today. Way, way back, we're talking millions of years ago, the landmass was totally different, and the river actually flowed west, away from the Atlantic. But then, the Andes Mountains started to rise up. They basically formed a giant wall, and the entire river system had no choice but to turn around and flow the other way, east, toward the Atlantic, just like it does today. But that reversal isn't just ancient history. A version of it happens all the time. It's called the Pororoca. When the tide is high, the Atlantic Ocean literally shoves a giant wave, sometimes 4 meters high, up the river's mouth. This thing is so powerful, it makes the Amazon flow backward for many kilometers. It's so legendary that surfers actually travel from all over the world to ride this wave deep into the jungle. How cool is that? Okay, so we've looked at the surface, we've looked into the past, now we're going down, way down, 4 kilometers straight under the riverbed. Because what's hiding down there might just be the most astonishing secret of all. So, in 2011, scientists confirmed something that sounds like science fiction. There is another river flowing directly underneath the Amazon. It's called the Rio Hamza. And check this out. It's unbelievably wide, up to 400 kilometers in some places. But here's the twist. It moves at a snail's pace, just seeping through porous rock. It's like a slow, silent ghost river haunting the real one up above. for our final discovery, we're shifting gears from geology to archaeology. For centuries, the world believed the Amazon jungle was way too harsh to support large, complex societies. Well, that assumption has just been completely overturned. Yeah, the thinking was always, no way. The soil's poor, the environment's too difficult, you just couldn't build cities or feed a lot of people there. Impossible. But what if the evidence was just hidden from view? And that's where this incredible technology called LiDAR comes in. It's basically a type of laser scanner that can peer right through the dense jungle canopy. And what it found is unbelievable. Archaeologists discovered the remains of the Khazarabe culture. We're talking massive 22-meter-high earthen pyramids, a sophisticated network of canals, and get this, kilometers of perfectly straight roads connecting urban centers. This was a complex, thriving civilization, just hidden under the trees all this time. So this advanced society thrived for centuries. And then, around the year 1400, it just disappeared. Was it war? Disease? Climate change? We don't know. The discovery proves that beneath the trees and below the river, the Amazon holds secrets we are only just beginning to uncover, which leaves us with the ultimate question. What else is it hiding?